Welcome to Solve It Like a Marketer and Marketing Terms A to Z. Today's letter is B for buyer persona. As always, please subscribe and hit that bell to be notified of new episodes every week, and don't go away. Now, a buyer persona is a semi-fictional representation of a company's ideal customer. So it's based on research and data about existing and potential customers and really paints a picture of who the customer is, what they do, what their motivations are, and what their goals are. So buyer personas help to shape an organization's marketing strategy, but it really goes beyond this. By being able to actually picture your ideal customer, you can better conceptualize how to reach out to them. So much of what we do in marketing can be at times be hypothetical. We gain insights, we try different avenues for engagement, measure what works, what doesn't work, and refine. And so goes that circle. But this tactic can really give you a better starting point. It's also kind of fun creating those buyer personas. Now, one place to start is with the hypothetical 6 buyer personas. First is innovation, driven by the need to be the first to adopt a new product or technology. The perfectionist, who's highly motivated by quality and will pay for it. The value shopper, always looking for the best deal. They'll compare prices and shop around, get the bang for the buck, as it were. The impulsive buyer, so they spontaneous decisions. They don't spend much time thinking, more driven by emotion. The bargain hunter, so they look for discounts, look for the best deal. The loyalist, so they're highly committed to a particular brand and they will remain loyal despite better deals. Again, these are just suggested starting points in defining your personas. There really are so many options at your disposal, and that's what makes it so fun. So now it's time to get creative, and you want to bring your team together in creating these buyer personas. One place to start is, first of all, give them a name. So for instance, let's say your first buyer persona, his name is Tim. Okay. Now maybe pull off Google a picture of Tim that you think represents the Tim target demographic that you're going after. Now, with buyer personas, you can tackle this in a myriad of ways. Again, starts with a name. Maybe the next thing you want to do is cover off the easy stuff like demographics. So let's think about Tim. So Tim is in his, say, mid-30s. He's got a good job. He gets paid roughly, say, $120,000 a year. He's single. And right now just enjoys living life. He owns a condo downtown. That's getting more into geographics. But also take it beyond that. So think about, say, what are his goals? So he's 35 years old. He's got a great job. So one of his goals is to rise in the ranks, probably get paid more money. Maybe one of his goals is to have a family. Think about his hobbies as well. So what are his hobbies? Well, he's an outdoors type guy. So he enjoys hiking, anything to do, maybe water sports in the summertime. In the winter, maybe he loves to go hiking. So he's an outdoors guy. Sometimes you want to think about also the more negative attributes. Can't all be positive. So with Tim, what are some of his biggest fears, right? So when you are thinking of a persona, it's also good to know what problems they face. So what are some of his biggest fears? Let's say one of his biggest fears is he wants to upgrade to potentially a new home at some point, but a big fear is that the housing market is in a bit of a bubble and he'll never be able to afford a home. Also, maybe a challenge or a common objection. That's another good one. So, what is a common objection? For him, he lives a very fast paced life. So, if he's looking to order something, whether that's ordering a new pair of sneakers, ordering food, say online. He lives a very fast-paced life. He wants to be able to do that quickly. So if you think of that, for instance, with your own brand, if he's visiting your website, for instance, he's not the type that will want to click, 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 right? It'll be one click and gets Tim. Okay. So what you can do is literally create a cheat sheet with Tim in the middle, and you list these attributes. So list his demographics, his goals, his hobbies, his objections, his fears. And then you've got a template of Tim. Okay, so that's Tim. Let's try another one for fun. Let's look at Fatima. Now, Fatima is in her late 20s. She's really just started her career. She spent a lot of her time in school getting a master's degree in business. And she's landed her first job, which she's really excited about. So she's entering the job market. So again, her income might be slightly lower. Let's peg it at 60,000. She is single, hopes to one day have a family. She lives in the city and really enjoys city dwelling. So she grew up in a city, not in North America, somewhere else. So she enjoys that. That's not something that she's going to change. She's not really an outdoorsy person. She loves urban living and all the conveniences that come along with that. Interests, well, she loves to see her friends on weekends. She loves having a glass of wine now and again. She's a bit of a foodie, so she enjoys going to restaurants, trying different types of foods. So she's not sort of in one mindset. She enjoys all different types of food. So she's a bit of an explorer when it comes to that. She also enjoys movies, going out with friends, enjoying all sorts of movies as well. I think one of her biggest fears may be what the next steps are for her in her job path. So she's landed this perfect first job, but this is just the beginning for her. So she wants to do a really great job at her current vocation, but she's not quite sure what that future looks like. Common objections. You know what? She's a pretty easygoing person. Maybe one common objection is she's actually not too much of a fan of social media. Her friends have gotten her on Instagram, not so much Facebook. And they're like, you know what, Fatima, you really need to post on Instagram. It is fun. So she's not really one to post pictures of what she's eating. She prefers to post more meaningful pictures about what she's doing or her life or something like that. So again, what you can see is how different those profiles are between Tim and Fatima. And when you're creating your marketing strategy, it may be the same product or the same brand or the same company, but your marketing strategy is going to be very, very different for those two different types of customers. I'm going to give you one more. Let's do George. So George is 65. So he's in the older demographic. George, he's retired. He loves gardening. So most of the time he spends in his garden. If he's going to buy stuff in a store, he loves going to gardening stores, picking up tools to gardening, picking up earth and plants and seeds and all of that sort of stuff. He's a pretty laid back guy. Now, he's not on social media at all. So that's one of his biggest pet peeves. He's not gone on the social media realm at all. So if you're reaching out to George, that may be by mail. He is on the internet, so he might visit your website, for instance. So demographics, again, he is retired. He made a good living. Say he was in the tech industry. He worked for a big computer, maybe IBM, for instance. So he made his money. He owns a house. He got married. He has kids. He has grandkids. He has kind of a full family. And that's another aspect, right? Because when you're targeting him, you're not just targeting him, but potentially his kids and his grandkids as well. Because, Christmas or holidays roll around, and he may be thinking, what can I buy for my kids or my grandkids? Goals, well, you know what? He doesn't have any hard and fast goals. I think he just plays it by ear day to day, enjoys his gardening. Common objections, he's a pretty easygoing guy. So he just enjoys getting together with his family, spending time with his wife. He does have a few health issues, which he has to take care of periodically. So health is also an important, keeping healthy, keeping that blood pressure down, which is why his doctor said, you know what? Gardening is great, gets you outside, little bit of exercise, little bit of stretching. So that's George. So again, right? We've got somebody who's completely different. So that's how to build buyer personas. And you know what, as I said in the introduction, they're really fun to put together. They are very theoretical, but when you create these, you will be able to, again, when we're creating marketing campaigns, it's so hypothetical, right? We talk about target markets, and then we put all these statistics. If you can actually create a person and put a name to that person, I think it really helps us in being able to conceptualize and create really great campaigns moving forward. If you'd like to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button and please share so that others can also enjoy my videos. If there is a marketing term you'd like me to cover, please mention it in the comments section below. You can also buy me a coffee for those long nights researching and writing these episodes. Again, that link is below me. So you can catch me on Instagram and Facebook for extra content, so please check those out, as well as LinkedIn. You can add me. I'll see you weekly with a new video, so please stay tuned, and together, let's solve it like a marketer.